Just at that moment when Jesus died, suddenly there was an earthquake. The ground was shaken, the rocks were torn apart, and many of the tombs around Jerusalem were opened. In the temple on Mount Moriah, a wonderful event was seen. The great veil that hung between the holy place and the most holy place was suddenly torn from the top to the bottom, as if by a mighty unseen hand, so that the priests in the temple could see what none of them, except the high priest, had ever seen before, the inside of the Holy of Holies. The people who were standing on Mount Calvary, looking at the dying Jesus, were filled with fear. They beat upon their breasts with their hands and went back to the city in terror at the darkness and the earthquake. The Roman captain who was in charge of the soldiers around the cross said, "Surely this was a good man, a Son of God." You know that the Sabbath among the Jews was kept on the seventh day of the week, and that it always began at sunset on the evening before. It was on Friday that Jesus was crucified, and 3 o'clock on that afternoon. The Jews did not wish to have the men upon the 3 crosses hanging there upon the Sabbath, for that day the Passover Sabbath was kept especially holy. The Jewish rulers came to Pilate and asked him that the men should not be left upon the cross over the Sabbath, but they should be killed and their bodies taken away. They did not know at that time that Jesus was already dead. Pilate gave orders to the soldiers to have the men killed. This they did by breaking their legs as they hung upon the crosses. As they saw that Jesus was no longer alive, they did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers, to be sure of his death, drove his spear into the side of Jesus to strike his heart. John the disciple was still standing there watching beside the cross to the very last. And he wrote in his gospel many years afterward that he saw both water and blood pour forth from the side of Jesus out of the wound made by the spear.